Vicente, are you there? Vicente, can you hear me? Oops. Vicente,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, good. How are you?
Fine, fine. How how are you?
Fine, thanks. Good, good enough.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, good. Let's see. Have you been to Antumapu today or no?
Me?
No,
No.
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 I don't know because yesterday I had some information at Faxo. Well, not Faxo, it's a journalism. And they told me that they were planning a strike for today. I don't know if you know something about that.
I don't know.
No? Because I was watching the news and there were some problems in the city center, but it was with school students, as far as I understood. Well, let's hope for the best. Let's see, today is our last class before your holidays. Next week is holidays, so this will be our last class in 2 weeks. Yes, and let me see. And we are having, I mean, when is your no, your midterm test is on October the 4th, so the first week of October. Okay, sorry. Okay. Well, let's see. For today, remember last class we you were not here, Paloma, last class, right? No.
No, I had a problem.
Did you watch the class? Did you watch the recording?
No, really.
Paloma. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, last class we worked with some. Were you here in classes, Vicente, last week?
Yes, yes. I believe last week was my second class.
I think so.
I don't remember. I don't. It was the class about the video. No, it was my first class because you had already watched the England video of people talking about their neighbors.
Okay. Yeah.
You had watched it before, I think, and you were watching it for a second time.
Yes, right. That was the first part of the class. We watched a video, and then in the second part, we studied, I mean, a unit related to education, and we checked different vocabulary to talk about, to use when talking about education in the US and in the UK. Do you remember that?
Yes, college, school, middle school, the difference between them.
Exactly. Good. Well, today I would like to go on with the idea of the topic of education, but from different viewpoints, okay? First, as a kind of introduction to the topic, I would like to start with some listening, okay? Let's see, both of you have studied for, I mean, at the university for at least 6 years, at least 6 years or no? Yes, Paloma?
Yes.
More.
From 2016.
6 years, yeah.
Yes.
Good. 6 years plus 12? No, 14. 14 because if you incorporate preschool is kind of 14 years. 12.
Yes. And previously I studied another career and I had English. So I changed.
Okay. What did you study before?
But 1 year and a half.
What did you study?
En inglés. Ay, me fue como decirlo. Perdón.
What?
Ingeniería de alimentos.
Food engineering.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Ah, okay. So it's more than that. I mean, you have studied.
I study English in then one course.
No, but I'm not talking about English. I mean, studies in general.
Ah,
mean,
yes, yes. But a year and a half, and then I changed.
Okay. So you've been studying for, how old are you?
27.
27. So you've been studying for most of your life, actually.
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Vicente? How long have you been studying?
Oh, since I've been like 3 years old, so I've been studying for 21 years.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So also a long time. Well, if now you were asked, do you know how to study? What would you answer? Sorry, Vicente?
Sorry.
I cannot hear you well, Vicente.
Now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
No, it's not better. Now it's with a lot of distortion.
Wait a second. I'll fix it.
Let's see, Paloma in the middle. Sorry, Vicente. Vicente? No. Where are you physically? No. I can hear you from a very long distance. I mean, very far away and with a lot of distortion. Let me try to use my headphones. Let's see if it is better, but I think it's your connection.
I listen at time.
Can you hear Vicente well?
No.
No. Yeah.
Maybe he can write.
Sorry?
Maybe he can write in the chat.
I'm sorry, Pablo, I don't understand.
Okay. Maybe he can write on the chat.
Ah, yeah, yeah. But I don't know what, first of all, I don't know where he is.
Now?
Let me connect my headphones.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
that is much better, Vicente.
I changed the mics. That's all I did.
Okay. Yeah, now it's okay.
I've dropped the old one. I've dropped it like 100 times, so it's very clunky now. It's
okay.
Well, I did take a course here on the university to learn, and
to learn how to learn. Yeah.
yes, it was learning how to learn, and they did give us some tips and some like techniques about like the typical things you always hear, like take a rest regularly, move between the study sessions, and stay hydrated, and that kind of thing.
Well, but there you okay, but that must be very interesting course. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did learn a lot more than that, but my memory is kind of foggy, so I don't remember all the way back there.
Yeah, okay. But you were given some tips how to study. Have you
Yes.
put them into practice?
Yes. Now I use the Pomodoro technique, which is basically study sessions of 25 minutes and 5 minutes of rest. And then another 25 minutes of study or work or whatever that requires concentration. And then another 5 minutes of rest.
Okay, why is it called Pomodoro technique? Pomodoro means tomato, right?
Yes, it means tomato in Italian, but I don't know why. I think it's because you know those like timers that they use on the kitchen. Sometimes they are like an egg. Sometimes
you're right.
they are.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
I think that's why.
Yeah. Okay, that's why. Okay. Okay, so you perhaps, well, perhaps this the material I planned for today will be very obvious for you. Well, let's see, probably will, if you took that course. Paloma, do you know something about that course? Have you ever taken that kind of course?
No, no.
No? Do you think you know or you've learned how to study in your career as a student, your life as a student?
I think that no,
No,
because
Mhm.
I still have trouble with that, with study, because sometimes I never had like a mm, like I don't know method
Method.
of study. Never. I do it the way I think it was the better.
Yeah.
I not I don't know.
But for example, when you have a test, an important test,
the
how do
last
you, sorry?
the last test, or I hear the class and I type it
What do
on
you type?
like the important things,
Yeah.
and then I read it, and
But
so and I subrayar,
underline,
yes,
underline.
underline the important things, and I read it again and again. It's
But
like
for
that.
example, when you say I type the class, do you listen to the recording? Do you watch the
Yes,
recording of the class and then you
in
type
the
it?
last years, because it was recording, because it was
Recorded.
online.
Mhm.
Yes, I usually type and put the photos of the PowerPoint, the importance, and I make like a not a resume, not an abstract,
A summary?
not a summary. I like all the class.
All the class.
Yes, and I read it, and it was tedious. Tedious.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was long.
But let's say I cannot imagine the type of class that you can listen or watch and type. I sorry, but I don't, because perhaps we are talking about different types of classes. Is it like a presentation? I mean, the classes that you are talking about, are they like presentations?
No, a normal class, but not like this, because daily like this I can take notes.
Yeah,
It's different.
yeah.
It's
That is my question.
more information. It's like the teacher talks a lot of information, so I can't type it in like a take notes. I can't take notes of all. So then, yes, I sometimes I write in the class, or sometimes later
Yeah,
I type it.
yeah. You mean that I suppose that the class you're talking about is the class where the teacher speaks all the time?
Yes.
It's like speech, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, must be
But
boring.
it was like I have to have the time to type it, and sometimes I
Sure.
didn't have, so it was like a mess.
Yeah. Okay. And what about you, Istante? How do you study? I mean, when you have an important test, how do you, what do you do to study?
Mostly I cram. It's sometimes they are cram sessions. Sometimes I study like a week in advance.
Yeah, but what do you do?
How I do it?
Yes.
Mostly I read, I highlight, I highlight like the most important parts of the material, and then I synthesize it. I pick chunks of every like topic.
But do you read, when you say I read, do you read your notes? Do
No,
you read
no, my notes, my
your
notes.
notes?
I do. How do I say? I do write a lot. I do write a lot of what the professor or the, ¿cómo se dice ayudante?
Assistant.
Ah, uh, I do write a lot of what the professor or the assistant uh, say. So when I study, I just read it and highlight the most important aspects.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, different tricks, different tips to study. Well, let me see. I will ask you to go to your cursos, please. Material docente. Okay, material docente, please download a file called How to Study. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. In the first part, yeah, here you have some ideas. I mean, some ideas about how to study, what to do or what not to do when studying. But basically, this is very easy. So I want you just to do this in order to get familiar with the vocabulary, okay? Here we have 2, 4, 6 different ideas, study ideas. I want you please to read them and classify them into good or bad study habits. It's very easy, but please do this, okay?
I have a question.
Tell me.
What does it mean, the B, think long term? I don't understand.
Long term means in a largo plazo. Term is a period of time.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Think long term is to think not in the immediate, I mean, not for tomorrow, but for the, I mean, in the long run, and pensar como a largo plazo.
Yes, but I don't
you don't understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay.
And
okay.
in
Never
relation
mind.
to the
to the topic. Okay.
Yes.
But okay, according with that, we're going to watch that. I mean, to talk about that. But before that, classify it according to what your instinct tells you. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Yes, Vicente?
Ready?
Okay. Let's see in the good study habits. What is the first one, Vicente, for you?
It's a bad study habit.
I'm sorry?
It's a bad study habit.
No,
The
no,
first
no.
one. A.
Okay, no, okay, yeah, okay, you misunderstood me, okay. The first one, let's array. Just read your notes, but don't highlight them or write anything extra. Okay, that is a bad study habit. Why?
Well, because you're not really interacting with the material. You're just absorbing, passively absorbing.
Yeah, okay, good. Let's see B, Paloma.
But I don't know
Where
how
do you, okay, no, I understand, but where do you think that this might be included? As a good or a bad habit?
good, I think.
Yes, we're going to, when we listen to the tape, I mean, to the conversation, you will understand, okay? Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good study habit. Let's see, Vicente, do you know about this one? Think,
C, right?
yeah, no, talking about B.
Yeah.
What do
I
you
agree
understand?
that it's a good study habit.
What do you understand by think long term?
That you're planning ahead. You're not just studying for, well, it means that, well, you're planning ahead, but that encompasses that you're studying in advance, not just the day before, and also that you're not studying just for the test you're about to take. It's for like how do I say? Really learning the material for the future. For the future.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's the meaning. I mean, not to study, first of all, not to study just the day before, but also not to study for the test only. I mean, to study in order to learn really about the topic. Yeah, good. Do you understand it better, Paloma?
Yes, I think that it was something like that,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure. I wasn't
More
sure.
details will be given on the tape, okay? Let's see C. Paloma.
A good study habits.
Habit.
Habits.
Right, good. D, Vicente.
It is a good study habit.
Okay, right. E, Paloma.
Bad study habits.
Okay, right. And F, Vicente.
It's a bad study habit.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, now here you have 8 different sentences, right? You will listen to a conversation, and according to that, I will ask you to choose them and if they are true or false according to the tape, okay? Let me go to the, wait, let me go to the, here.
Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about how to study. Now, you probably think you know all about that, right?
Yes.
You've been studying for years. And I expect some of you are fantastic at studying, really organized and good at concentrating. But there's always room for improvement, and your exams aren't far away. So these tips are for all of you. Right, so what's the best way to study? Well, first of all, it's a good idea to have some kind of plan or timetable. This could be for the week or a longer revision timetable for an exam from 1 month to 6 months. Yes, if you're studying for an important exam, it's important to think long term. Draw up a timetable, but revise it often. If it's not going to plan, you may have to rethink it. Next, think about your environment. Make sure the place where you are going to study is comfortable, with enough light, air, etc. Not too hot, not too cold. Make sure there are no distracting noises around, such as television. If you think you concentrate better listening to music, experiment and see if it's really true. Some people really do seem to work better with music in the background, especially classical music. But for many people, it spoils their concentration. However, if you have to work near a TV, you might have to use headphones to play music to drown out the sound of the TV. In this case, find out what kind of music works best for you. Maybe something without words. Oh, by the way, you might think you work fine with the TV on, but again, experiment. You might be surprised at how much better you work away from a TV. Oh, and the other thing is the internet. Text messages, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Forget about all of that while you're studying.
You can't be kidding.
No, really, you can ignore it for an hour or so. It won't be the end of the world if you don't reply to a message immediately. Right, planning breaks. Plan your study periods in chunks with regular breaks. Many people recommend half an hour of concentrated study, then a 10-minute break. But you can adjust this to suit you. If you study for too long at a stretch, your mind will work less effectively. So be careful. In your short break, you can give yourself a treat, such as a cup of green tea.
Disgusting.
Well, I wouldn't advise a chocolate bar as a treat. A sugar rush is not great for concentration. Okay, so next let's think about what you do when you're studying. Some people just read through their notes or textbooks and underline in pencil or highlight important bits. If this works for you, fine. But I'd suggest that it's better to write notes of some kind, so your mind is processing the information more. This way, you are also producing material which will be useful for last-minute revision. I don't recommend very last-minute revision, by the way, but we'll come back to that later. Have a look at these examples of student notes. Which do you think are best? The first person has written important phrases at random. The next has a table with clear headings and boxes with notes. The next has summaries. And the last one has mind maps. You've got the main topic in the circle, then lines coming off the circle attached to subcategories, then more lines to further details. Mind maps are great for showing the connections between different bits of information. They seem to work in the same way the brain works. So What do you think?
Highlighter pen usually.
To me, the first one wouldn't be very useful to come back to and use in the future. But the others are all fine. It depends on your personal preference. Mine is for mind maps. I would suggest using colours, though, and even little drawings. They can make things much more memorable. Obviously, when you are studying, the first thing to think about is whether you understand the information. And the second thing is how you are going to remember it. Let's look at some more ways of making information more memorable.
Okay, once again, or was it enough?
This recording was brought to you by the British Council.
Once again, or was it enough?
I didn't know to.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't hear the 6 because like a
Okay, so
cut?
would you, it was cut?
yes, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, the record
The recording stopped, you mean?
like stop and then come like
I didn't notice that.
continue.
Well, let's play again.
Please.
Okay.
Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about how to study. Now, you probably think you know all about that, right?
Yes.
You've been studying for years. And I expect some of you are fantastic at studying, really organised and good at concentrating. But there's always room for improvement. And your exams aren't far away. So these tips are for all of you. Right, so what's the best way to study? Well, first of all, it's a good idea to have some kind of plan or timetable. This could be for the week or a longer revision timetable for an exam from 1 month to 6 months. Yes, if you're studying for an important exam, it's important to think long term. Draw up a timetable, but revise it often. If it's not going to plan, you may have to rethink it. Next, think about your environment. Make sure the place where you are going to study is comfortable, with enough light, air, etc. Not too hot, not too cold. Make sure there are no distracting noises around, such as television. If you think you concentrate better listening to music, experiment and see if it's really true. Some people really do seem to work better with music in the background, especially classical music. But for many people, it spoils their concentration. However, if you have to work near a TV, you might have to use headphones to play music to drown out the sound of the TV. In this case, find out what kind of music works best for you. Maybe something without words. Oh, by the way, you might think you work fine with the TV on, but again, experiment. You might be surprised at how much better you work away from a TV. Oh, and the other thing is the internet. Text messages, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Forget about all of that while you're studying.
You can't be kidding.
No, really, you can ignore it for an hour or so. It won't be the end of the world if you don't reply to a message immediately. Right, planning breaks. Plan your study periods in chunks with regular breaks. Many people recommend half an hour of concentrated study, then a 10-minute break. But you can adjust this to suit you. If you study for too long at a stretch, your mind will work less effectively. So be careful. In your short break, you can give yourself a treat. such as a cup of green tea.
Disgusting.
Well, I wouldn't advise a chocolate bar as a treat. A sugar rush is not great for concentration.
Sugar rush.
Okay, so next let's think about what you do when you're studying. Some people just read through their notes or textbooks and underline in pencil or highlight important bits. If this works for you, fine. But I'd suggest that it's better to write notes of some kind, so your mind is processing the information more. This way, you are also producing material which will be useful for last-minute revision. I don't recommend very last-minute revision, by the way, but we'll come back to that later. Have a look at these examples of student notes. Which do you think are best? The first person has written important phrases at random. The next has a table with clear headings and boxes with notes. The next has summaries. And the last one has mind maps. You've got the main topic in the circle, then lines coming off the circle attached to subcategories, then more lines to further details. Mind maps are great for showing the connections between different bits of information. They seem to work in the same way the brain works. So, what do you think?
I just always do highlighter pen usually.
To me, the first one wouldn't be very useful to come back to and use in the future. But the others are all fine. It depends on your personal preference. Mine is for mind maps. I would suggest using colours, though, and even little drawings. They can make things much more memorable. Obviously, when you are studying, the first thing to think about is whether you understand the information. And the second thing is how you are going to remember it. Let's look at some more ways of making information more memorable.
This recording was brought to you by the British Council. To find others like it, visit www.british.
Sorry. Sorry, I don't know if I've got a COVID or if it is an allergy. Could you listen to could you hear the listening?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Sorry. I have 2 people with COVID in my apartment, so. Okay, let's see the first one. Vicente, can you please read the sentence and then tell me if it is true or false, please?
Yes, the students will be taking exams soon. True.
True, right. Paloma, number 2, please.
A revision timetable could be from 1 to 6 weeks. False.
Why?
Because she said it could be from a week or 1 to 6 months.
Okay, right. Good. Number 3, Vicente.
Yeah, no one can really concentrate properly with music on. False.
Why?
Some people can work with music. Yeah.
Okay, right. She says that you must experiment.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Excuse me. Number 4, please, Paloma.
You should try to forget about the internet, text messages, Twitter, Facebook, etc. while you're studying. True.
True, right. 5, Vicente.
Yeah. You should try to not have a break. You should try not to have a break until you really need one. False. You have to plan your breaks ahead of time.
Yes. Okay. So you should try to have a break. Yeah. Okay. Good. 6, Paloma.
Underlining or highlighting your notes is better than writing more notes.
Mhm.
Is false.
Right. Why is it false?
Something like that you will remember more if you write notes and some interaction with the information.
Yeah. Actually, she said that could be good. I mean, she doesn't say that one is better than the other, but you should try, she said. One or the other, yeah. But it's, I mean, it's false, right? 7, Vicente.
Yeah, mind maps are good because they mirror the way the brain works. True.
True.
She seems to think so.
I'm sorry?
The professor, the teacher,
Yeah.
seems to think so.
Yes, okay. What are mind maps?
It's when you write concepts and you group them and show the relationship they have with other concepts.
Yeah, right. Yes, it's a map of concepts. Yes, good. 38, Paloma.
The most important thing is to remember the information. You don't have to understand it. False.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because obviously it's important to understand what you're learning. She said that is the first thing to do when you're studying.
Yeah.
To understand it.
Yeah. Okay, you can write information that you don't understand, but that is not good. I mean, it's not the idea, right? Good. Okay, let's see, let's go to the second exercise, the third exercise, where the idea is to fill in and complete the sentences, okay, with a word or phrase. Do you think you can do it without listening, or do you think you need listening again? Do you want to try according to what you remember? Or do you want me to play it again?
I'm okay.
Okay, what? Do you think you can complete them according to what you remember?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay, I recommend you to read the sentences before listening to it for the last time, okay? But read them first, yeah? I have no problem to play it again. Okay? Shall I play it again?
Yes.
I would have Botox. I would.
Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about how to study. Now, you probably think you know all about that, right?
Yes.
You've been studying for years. And I expect some of you are fantastic at studying, really organised and good at concentrating. But there's always room for improvement. And your exams aren't far away. So these tips are for all of you. Right, so what's the best way to study? Well, first of all, it's a good idea to have some kind of plan or timetable. This could be for the week or a longer revision timetable for an exam from 1 month to 6 months. Yes. If you're studying for an important exam, it's important to think long term. Draw up a timetable, but revise it often. If it's not going to plan, you may have to rethink it. Next, think about your environment. Make sure the place where you're going to study is comfortable, with enough light, air, etc. Not too hot, not too cold. Make sure there are no distracting noises around, such as television. If you think you concentrate better listening to music, experiment and see if it's really true. Some people really do seem to work better with music in the background, especially classical music. But for many people, it spoils their concentration. However, if you have to work near a TV, you might have to use headphones to play music to drown out the sound of the TV. In this case, find out what kind of music works best for you. Maybe something without words. Oh, by the way, you might think you work fine with the TV on, but again, experiment. You might be surprised at how much better you work away from a TV. Oh, and the other thing is the internet, text messages, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Forget about all of that while you're studying.
You can't be kidding.
No, really, you can ignore it for an hour or so. It won't be the end of the world if you don't reply to a message immediately. Right, planning breaks. Plan your study periods in chunks with regular breaks. Many people recommend half an hour of concentrated study, then a 10-minute break. But you can adjust this to suit you. If you study for too long at a stretch, your mind will work less effectively. So be careful. In your short break, you can give yourself a treat, such as a cup of green tea.
Disgusting.
Well, I wouldn't advise a chocolate bar as a treat. A sugar rush is not great for concentration.
Sugar rush.
Okay, so next let's think about what you do when you're studying. Some people just read through their notes or textbooks and underline in pencil or highlight important bits. If this works for you, fine. But I'd suggest that it's better to write notes of some kind, so your mind is processing the information more. This way, you are also producing material which will be useful for last-minute revision. I don't recommend very last-minute revision, by the way, but we'll come back to that later. Have a look at these examples of student notes. Which do you think are best? The first person has written important phrases at random. The next has a table with clear headings and boxes with notes. The next has summaries. And the last one has mind maps You've got the main topic in the circle, then lines coming off the circle attached to subcategories, then more lines to further details.
Complicated.
Mind maps are great for showing the connections between different bits of information. They seem to work in the same way the brain works. So, what do you think?
I just always do highlighter pen usually.
To me, the first one wouldn't be very useful to come back to and use in the future. But the others are all fine. It depends on your personal preference. Mine is for mind maps. I would suggest using colours, though, and even little drawings. They can make things much more memorable. Obviously, when you are studying, the first thing to think about is whether you understand the information. And the second thing is how you are going to remember it. Let's look at some more ways of making information more memorable.
This recording was
Okay. Okay, some seconds for you to complete the sentences then. Okay. When you're ready, please let me know.
I'm ready.
Ready? Vicente, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Yes? Okay. Paloma, please, can you read number 1?
Some of you are probably fantastic at studying, really organized, and good at concentrating.
Okay, I'm good at concentrating. Good. Go on, Vicente, please.
Yeah, I only have one, which is plan. I don't have.
Let's see. Sorry, can you read the sentence with?
It's a good idea to have some kind of plan or.
Okay. Paloma, do you have another word?
Yes, a timetable.
Yes, timetable. Yes, let me write it down. Yeah. Timetable. Do you know any other synonym of timetable? Any of you?
Schedule? No, no sé cómo se dice.
Yes.
Schedule?
Schedule or
Eso.
schedule. Sorry.
Eso.
Yes,
No sé
it
cómo
can be
se
pronounced
pronuncia.
in 2 ways. You can say schedule or you can say schedule. Both are correct.
Okay.
So, plan or timetable or schedule. Yes, good. Let's see number 3. Vicente.
It's important, if you're studying for an important exam, it's important to think ahead.
Well, yeah, but she didn't say ahead. She used another expression. Do you remember?
Long term.
Long term, right. Long term, good. Let's see number 4, Paloma.
Make sure the place where you're going to study is comfortable with no distracting noises.
Noises, right. Good. 5, Vicente.
If you have to work near a TV, you might have to use headphones to drown out the sound of the TV.
Right. Maybe headphones or how do you call the other ones?
Earplugs?
Earphones or, well, yeah. Yes. She didn't say plugs, but could be. Yeah, wait a minute. Could be, well, headphones. Could be earphones. Or as you said, Vicente, earplugs. Plugs. Okay, right. Go on, Paloma, please, number 6.
While you're studying, you should forget about the internet, text messages, Facebook, etc.
Right. Good. 7, Vicente?
Yes. You should plan your studying and take regular breaks.
Breaks. Good. 8, Paloma?
It is better to write notes so your mind is processing the information more.
Okay, right. 9, Vicente?
Yes. Mind maps seem to work in the same way the brain works.
Okay, right. 10, Paloma?
Which study method you choose all depends on your personal preference.
Okay, good. Okay, guys, very good.
Sorry, I have a
Yes,
question.
tell me.
How does it is spelled correctly? Comfortable?
How do you pronounce it?
Yes, yes,
Comfortable. Let
comfortable.
me try to write the pronunciation. I'm going to try. Comfortable. Comfortable.
It's difficult to me to say.
You know, it's not so difficult. If you stress the word correctly, for example, the stress comes here in the first syllable. The thing is that this, I will try to, this sound is very soft. I mean, almost disappears, comfortable. No es una A, es una A. Y a veces casi desaparece. Comfortable.
Comfortable.
That's it.
Comfortable.
Comfortable. That's it. Very good. If you stress it correctly on the first syllable on the left, the sound, the syllable in the middle almost disappears. Sometimes it disappears completely. Comfortable. Again, Paloma?
I say it
Yeah, please.
again. Comfortable.
Again?
Comfortable.
Very good. The key point is to stress the first syllable. It's the same as the word, this word. It's not chocolate. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Here, the second, the syllable in the middle disappears. Chocolate. Let's say, it's not broccoli, it's broccoli. Broccoli. Yes?
Broccoli.
Sorry?
Broccoli.
Broccoli. This word is Catholic. Catholic. Didn't I upload a video with this or no? A video from YouTube where you no?
I don't think so.
I was sure I had, because I usually, but do you understand what I explained here?
Yes.
Yes? Vicente, did you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me have a look, because I was sure there is a very good video where there is a teacher giving a lot of examples and explaining this in detail. Let me see if I uploaded it. Yeah, it is difficult English words, drop syllables. It's in enlaces. There you can watch the tutorial where she explains that. It's a very good one. I really recommend it. Okay? Well, so, wait. Okay, well, talking about different tips for you to study and for you to concentrate, and thinking about what this teacher or advisor says. how do you organize in order not to get distracted when you have to study for an important test or exam? I mean, do you listen to music? Do you get isolated? How do you do that? How do you organize that?
For me, sometimes I listen to music, but it's like a music that has no letter,
No words, no lyrics.
no words, yes.
Yeah.
And it's like relaxing music.
Is it I don't know, what type of music is it? Classical music?
No, it's in YouTube. It's called Lofi or Lo-fi.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how to say it. Like a channel
Yeah.
of music live all the time.
Yeah. And is it music to relax, music to study?
Yes. Yeah, the name of the YouTube is Lofi, like music to study, something like that.
Okay.
Like
I have seen something like that in Spotify, I think.
mhm.
Yes. Okay. And where do you study, Paloma? In your room?
In my room, yes. And it's very quiet.
In the night, in the morning?
Depends. Like I don't really woke up early. So
Yeah.
in the day, at night, but not too long, not too late,
Not too late.
because what?
No, go
Sorry.
on.
Because in the night I start to distract
Yeah.
very much. Yes, I start to see the phone and I didn't concentrate very well because I'm tired.
Okay. You don't concentrate. Do you eat something? Do you drink something while studying?
Sometimes tea, or when I take a break, I eat.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, yeah, because I mean, I remember while listening to this lady, I remember when I was at university, I used to study with a group of classmates, and they loved eating sweets.
mhm.
So I remember that when they went to my place, they took a bag of sweets, and now I don't like sweets in general, so it's not for me. But while listening to this lady that it's not good to eat so much sugar, I remember my old classmates that took a
Mhm.
bag of sweets. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's see, Vicente, what about your habits to study? How do you study? Or what do you do when you study?
As I said, I mostly study in 25 minutes chunks
Mhm.
to take a 5-minute rest. I like to listen to music, sometimes to podcasts,
Something what?
sometimes to podcasts.
Yeah?
You know,
Podcast.
those recorded
Yes,
conversations.
yes. What type
Yeah.
of music do you listen to?
Um, a little bit of everything. Like I have music in languages I don't understand just because they sound good.
Yeah?
um, and it usually goes. It's very up. Like how is it? It's very um, energetic. Like it's very high energy. Very like it keeps me pumped up while studying,
Okay.
as to not fall asleep because I
Like
don't.
rock? I don't know.
Huh?
Rock, for example?
Yeah, something with like it, it's a bit of everything, but the thing that all of it has in common is that it's very upbeat and it's
Yeah.
very fast,
Okay.
as to keep
Okay.
me from falling asleep, basically.
Yeah. What about any particular part of the day?
Um, no, not really. Sometimes I'm studying on the bus on my way home, but sometimes not.
On the bus?
Yeah.
Ah. So you don't need a special, I mean, quiet place to study.
No, I don't need it. I welcome it, but I don't really need it. I remember one of my teachers from high school told me I was complaining to her that I didn't have like silence to study regular. And she said that I should learn to zone it out, like to, like, how do I say it? Like ignore it. Like you eventually stop hearing it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like you'll eventually learn to, this is what she said to me, that I'll eventually learn to concentrate with the noise. And it's better that way because it's not a guarantee. You're not guaranteed to have it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So okay. You can have plenty of places, I mean, available for you to study.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you drink or eat something while studying?
I'm constantly drinking water, but that's because I'm always drinking lots and lots of water.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that and bitter cocoa.
Sorry?
Bitter cocoa.
Okay.
Chocolate.
Okay. Okay, guys, interesting. Good. Well, following the tip of this lady, I think we are ready for a break, aren't we? Okay, so shall we stop for 15 minutes and then continue with the topic?
Okay.
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 Well, see you in 15 minutes. Okay, good. Well, going on with the topic of education, now in this part, I would like to concentrate on vocabulary and discussion about more academic terms. So I have a list of, let's see, 18 different questions, okay? Well, my original plan was to divide you in groups, but considering you are only two, you will have to work in pairs, okay? It is the following. I will ask you to choose 4 questions out of this 18, okay? For you to discuss between you two, okay? I will give you some minutes for you to do it in a breakout room. Is that right? Okay, and then I will call you to the main room, and then you will tell me what you discussed. Do you understand it?
Yes.
Yes?
I think.
You think so? Let me show you. Let's go to your cursos. Wait. Okay, material docente. Questions for academic students. That's this is the document, okay? Please download it. Okay. Here you have 18 different questions. All of them are related to education. Okay, so I will ask you to work together, okay? And finally choose 4 questions that you would like to discuss. When you have chosen the questions, okay, discuss them, and then I will ask you to tell me what you have discussed in each question. Do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay. So according to I have a problem with time because my computer doesn't want to change the time, and I have the summertime. Okay, let me see. It's 4:45. Is 4:39? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I will give you, let's say, 10 minutes. Is that right? 10 minutes for you
Okay.
to discuss 4 questions. Okay?
We choose the question.
You decide the 4 questions. You choose the 4 questions. Yes?
Okay.
Two questions each.
No. You both.
Ah,
In-
okay.
You choose 4 questions to discuss between you two.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes. All right.
Okay. Do you think 10 minutes is okay, or do you think it's too much?
It's
What
okay.
if you?
Sorry?
I
I
know.
think
Sorry.
so.
You go ahead.
I think it's okay, but
It's okay?
Vicente, I don't know.
Let's see. I will give you 10 minutes, but I will visit you. I mean, every 2 or 3 minutes, I will visit you in case you have a question or to do what you are doing.
Okay.
Yes? Of course, the idea is to speak in English where you are discussing. I mean, this is the objective of the exercise.
Yes.
Yes, obviously. Okay, let me.
What about?
Sorry to interrupt. Something I forgot to tell you is that you can use your telephone to read the QR code on the document. Yes, and there you will find a lot of expressions that you can use in your oral discussion and when you discuss expressions and phrases. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. See you.
not really.
I thought, but like at informal, like to classmates or to people from
Yes,
outside the university, but I wouldn't really say that it's the same as being a teacher.
yes.
Because
I think I'm not good at teaching. I don't know. It's difficult. It's not something that everyone can do, I think.
it
Or
requires a
you
lot.
have to study. I think you have to study to be a good teacher.
Yeah, I mean, it should be that way. Like a lot of times, like I don't know, if it's still like that because I knew of people that were teaching like at a college level or at a technical course level, and they didn't have like how do you say this? Like a pedagogic or
Mhm.
they have like a teaching training. They had their topic training, but they didn't know how to teach. They knew what to teach, but not how to teach.
Yes, but I think some people know how, but I think in the university, some teachers don't have the I don't know. Yes, and they know too much, but they don't know how to transfer to the student that information.
They don't really have.
Sorry to interrupt you. How much time do you think you need?
Oh, uh, like 5 minutes more?
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay, how was it?
When we were discussing the last question.
Okay, so you discussed at least 3.5?
Sorry? Yes, yes.
At least 3.5. Okay, right. Good. Okay, let's see. Tell me the questions that you discussed. What was the first one that you discussed?
The first one.
Okay, what is the hardest thing about being a student in your country? Okay, and what ideas did you discuss?
Vicente was talking about that in Chile it's like there is no recognized
Recognition?
university like university like in England. It was
Can you explain that, please?
because in England it's like Oxford or in the world there are some college that are recognized,
Yeah.
but in Chile it's not like that. But I was telling Vicente that Universidad de Chile is like the best of Chile that in a ranking, and in I think in Latin America it is important too.
Mhm. Okay, Vicente, what can you say about that? What do you think about that?
I thought that while it is important in South America, like its name, it's recognizable. It's not up to the level in brand, like just in brand recognition with other colleges, because well, we're still a very young country. Like the Oxford College, I believe, is older than our country.
Okay, so you were comparing Universidad de Chile or any other university in Chile with Oxford, for example?
yeah, with Oxford, with any of the Ivy League, it was like they are more recognizable. I think it's just because of cultural osmosis. Like everyone hears all the time the top universities, and it's always um, either United States universities or European universities in movies, in series.
But why do you think that, I mean, Oxford or, American universities can be far more recognized than Chilean universities?
Well, in part because they are older. In
Yeah?
like the European universities have that they are older. Like some are 1,000 years or older.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is because a lot of the culture we consume is filtered or produced in like the Anglo world. So they always talk about their universities and their landmarks and all of that.
Yeah. So the main reasons would be that they are older and that the main landmarks take place in the Anglo-Saxon world. Is that?
No. It's more like movies, series, everything that it's produced. Like for a long time, it's been produced or influenced mainly by the first world. I didn't want to say it like that, but since they are like they've been, for example, making movies about their immediate environment, they mention things about their world. So they don't. A lot of people can't place, for example, Chile on a map, but they can place the U.S. They can place Russia. They can place China. Like they can place a lot of the older world countries in a map.
Yeah, but I don't understand the connection between this and the question. The question was, what is the hardest thing about being a student in your country? So what is the hard? I don't understand that part. I mean, is it harder to study in a university in Chile because it's far away from the ones in more developed countries? Is that what you mean?
No, it's not harder. It's just like how do I say? It's the weight of the name. The name of no, how do I say it? It's less it's less present. I think at least I believe it's less present on the majority of people. Like on the general in a global scale, a lot of people haven't even heard of Chile.
For sure.
So if you tell them I'm from like the top university of Chile, they don't even know what Chile is in the first place. But if you say I'm from top university of the US, they right away they know Harvard, Yale, Princeton.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. But I still don't understand the connection between that and the question. I don't know if I got you wrong. I understand what you mean, Vicente. I don't know, Paloma, if you can say something else to answer.
Because we don't talk about, we don't talk more about this question.
Okay, so you changed the question a bit. Is that?
No,
You talked to,
maybe we went we went away from the question.
okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So you discussed, I mean, how far away from the rest of the world we are, and we are such a small country, very far away from the US or from Europe or from Asia. I mean, we are at the end of the world. So many people don't know what Chile is. That's is that the idea, right?
Yes, I that's what I wanted like to say is that I did think I went off on a tangent because it's not very related to the question.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't see the connection because it's impossible to compare Universidad de Chile or any Chilean university with, I would say that with Harvard or Yale or Oxford, because they are, I mean, for different reasons. I mean, one of them is that they are much older and they have much more money. I mean, they are in developed countries, and
Yeah.
we are in an underdeveloped country, very small country. But if we talk about, as Paloma said, Chile in our part of the continent, Universidad de Chile is in a very good place, I would say. Not, I mean, in this region, in this area.
Yes.
Yes. I think it's the second after the, it's in the second place after the Brazilian one. I mean, University of São Paulo, I think.
I don't know, but I know that is in the top of the ranking Latin
It's in the
America.
second place after the Brazilian one. Is Universidad de São Paulo, I think. Okay, so returning to the question, one of the hard things is to live so far away from the developed world. So that's any other hard thing to face as a student in this country?
I was thinking now about the test to enter to the university, but I don't know how it calls now.
Yeah, me either.
But when I did it, it was PSU.
Yeah.
I think that in some cases it's difficult to measure the knowledge of the people with one test. So it could be too like, I don't know how to say it. Like
better, fairer.
No, like it's like too
Unfair, you mean? I don't know.
Yes, something like that.
Unfair? I mean, it's not a matter of justice, you mean? Injusto?
Something like that, but yes.
It is unfair to bet all the money on one test.
Yes. I think people that couldn't enter to the career they want, but maybe they know a lot and they could be a great, I don't know, professional.
Yeah. So what other way would you suggest? I mean, what other system would you suggest?
That is difficult because I know I don't have the answer. Also the nerves.
The
nerves. Nervios.
Stress.
stress can play a bad time.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, but I assume from what you say that you think that this all these tests, PSU or whatever, I mean, whatever it is called, they don't evaluate skills or abilities. They evaluate knowledge about maths, about language, about, and they don't really evaluate skills. Is that what you?
not I I don't know how to say it. Yes, it evaluates skills, but the people can get nervous and stressed and don't really
Do well.
Yes, and show how what they know.
Yeah. Okay. So you think that there should be more, I mean, other tests?
Maybe, or put more importance in the last years of school.
The marks you get at school, from school, yeah?
Maybe, but it's difficult because some schools are more strict than others, or
Yeah. What do you think about that, Vicente?
Well, I do think that it's unfair, but it's also been getting lately, like it's been getting more relaxed, like a little bit less unfair. I This year I heard the news that they were, I don't know what modification they were doing to the test, but I saw people celebrating that it's going to be like not easier, but it would give you more chances.
Yeah, well, I as far as I understand, I don't know if it was last year and this year, you can take the test twice in the year.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
You can take it in June and something like that, and in December, for example.
Yeah, that takes a lot of pressure out of people, because you don't have to wait a whole year studying before you can take it, and you're like the information is fresher in your mind.
Yeah, yeah. And I read last week, I think, that from next year on, universities, at least traditional universities, will not have a minimal score to apply for any career. At the University of Chile, you must have 600 points. At least until last year, you should have 600 points in order to have the right to apply. Am I right?
It was 600, 620, something like that.
But if you had got, I don't know, 500 points, you were immediately out of the, you couldn't even apply.
I didn't know that.
Sorry?
I didn't know that.
No?
No.
Oh, yes, I think so. I mean, I'm not sure about the exact score, but I think it was 600. And there were some exceptions with some students in some specific situations, but it was 600, I think. And now from next year on, Universidad Católica, Universidad de Chile, I mean, traditional universities will eliminate that. So I understand that there will be no minimal score for anybody. I don't know. Well, probably they will calculate your score, your marks from high school, and then you will have to try to get a place in the career you want, I suppose so. What do you think of that? Eliminating the minimal score.
Me?
Yes, anybody? This is fun.
Yeah, I think it's well, I mean, it makes the system a little more flexible, but I don't know how that votes is the word, I think,
Mhm.
like for the future professionals, because, well, I mean, there has to be at least some like how do I say, doors. The doors will be closing as you advance in your career. Like here, like there's 100 people that got in, but those 100 people don't all graduate because
Yeah.
they begin to fall along the way. I think
Mhm.
it's going to be the same thing, but with more initial people.
Yeah. And what do you think, Paloma, about that?
Mm, it's difficult because same as Vicente said, in one way it's more flexible and more opportunities for the students, but in other ways, um, who um, who are entering in the university, like they have the knowledge or their skills, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, but the idea, I mean, to explain that is that if they have the skills, for example, somebody who has been lazy at school and they haven't learned much and they get a low score or lower score, but they have talent because it may happen.
Mhm.
And they will, well, entering the university, they will decide to study and then they get trained and they can do well. What do you think of that? You
Yes, I
both.
think it will be good for some people and will be more fair.
More what? Sorry?
Fair, the contrary, unfair.
Fair. It will be
Fair.
fair. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking something else about it's the same test for all the careers, but there are careers that are art and I don't know, cooking or so. They have to know other skills, and the test don't measure that, and it's like maybe there could be different tests for the different areas,
Yeah.
more
Like, for
specific.
example, yeah, something similar to what happens with people that want to study arts or drama or visual arts. They are given a different test.
Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know.
There are some countries like Argentina, for example, or Uruguay, where you don't need any score. You just go and register in the career you want. I mean, and then you will have to study, and if you don't, you will be out, something like that. Do you think it should be something like that here in Chile? Vicente, what do you think? Well, I don't expect me to call you. I mean,
Okay. Sorry. Well, I mean, it could work, but the thing is that the first years and the second years would be very cluttered.
Hmm.
Like the classroom would be full, and people will have to sit on the, but that's minor, that's a minor thing. But the thing, it would be more accessible, and that would be the price. That's all. On that note, too, I I do think it for efficient resource management,
Mhm.
you should like filter people according to their skills, because well, you can't really teach to everyone.
Mhm.
There's going to be some limits, limits of space, limits of what the facilities allow, limits of I don't know. eh, there's always limits, limits of how many people the cafeteria can serve, and
Mm.
for example, logistics. They are logistic limits.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's why you need to.
imagine, sorry. Go on, Vicente.
No, that was all.
No, I was thinking about, for example, the classrooms for first year students. I don't know, calculus, I don't know, any subject that is first year subject would be huge, as you said. I mean, I don't know, hundreds of students. And do you think that every or all students finishing high school should have the right to go to university? Or should have the right, should go to university?
Not everyone. Even if university is being pressured on a lot of young people, um, excuse me for a second. Even if it's being pressured on a lot of young people, it's not the best fit for everyone. Excuse me.
I think the same.
The same?
Because yes, it's not the only way, the university. You can work right away, or maybe you can travel, or I don't know. There's so many things, and most people like it's very important for most people to go to a university, and maybe some people say like you are no one if you haven't if you I don't
If
if
you
you
don't have,
a career, yes.
if you don't have
And
a university career.
yes, and I don't think that you can make some you can make so much things without a career.
You can do so
You
many
can do,
things.
yes. You can do
Yes.
some.
Well, in my times, when there were 3 universities and all of them were, when Santiago, I mean, there were 3 universities and that was it. At that time, you had to go to university because if you studied something technical, you were nobody. And you would get very little money, etc. But now that you have hundreds of universities from A to Z, I mean, very good ones and very terrible ones. Now it's useless because you can get a certificate at the university and it depends on what university you got it.
Mm,
It's not,
yes.
it's not a guarantee of anything if you, I don't know, if you are poor, for example, and you get a certificate at the university that is not good, that is, you're not going to be a good professional either, and you're not going to get a good job.
Mm.
So it's not a guarantee. Okay, but then again, we went to another topic. Let's see, I would like to see what is the second question you discussed?
The second,
Um, it was the ninth question.
Number
yes,
9,
yes.
would you prefer to be the student or the teacher? Elaborate. Let's see.
Well, I don't have any experience teaching like formally, but I taught to some of my classmates and some people outside of the university
Mhm.
about stuff that I've learned in the university. And I think one-on-one is like somewhat easy, but I would not be able to manage a classroom. Like
Sorry,
I
you
can,
would you wouldn't be able to manage a class with more people, with more than one-to-one classes?
yeah, I wouldn't be able to manage that because I I don't have the patience and I don't have like many people skills required for the job.
Okay, so in that case, you would prefer to be the student instead of the teacher.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Paloma?
I think I prefer to be a student, but not because I love to be a student, because I didn't know how to be a teacher. I think it's very difficult. It needs patience and a lot, and also like ay, se me fue la palabra. But it's no for everybody, I think.
I mean, teaching as a career is not for everyone.
O sea, I don't mean like, no, not everyone could be a teacher, but it's like mm, no me acuerdo de la palabra.
You need, you mean that you need special abilities?
Yes, and more than that, like mm, like the passion, maybe.
Patience,
No,
patience.
no patience.
What?
Like the ay, ¿cómo se dice?
Passion?
Yes,
Passion for teaching?
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you need passion for any career, not only for teaching. No?
Yes, but teaching is very important
Why?
because it's like the foundation of everything.
Sorry, because it's
It's the foundation of the society, of all the others profession. It's start with a teacher.
yeah, it's true. I never thought about it, but it's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that was the second question. What about the third question?
The, oh, we also talk about the what did we struggle with most as students.
Sorry, what question was that? Or was it
The second.
the second question? What do
Yes.
you or did you struggle with most as a student? What subjects were you good at? This is interesting. What did you struggle or do you struggle with most as a student?
Well, I'm very unfocused and but I'm very unfocused and I make up for it with like being able to deduce what people are talking about. Like sometimes I space out
Mhm.
and then I get back into the conversation and I have to pick the pieces and make sense of what they are talking.
Okay. And have you had much trouble with that? I mean, at university and classes?
No, not really. I've been able to like keep it at a minimum.
Yeah.
Mostly by uh, uh, like keeping myself on a way and and jotting lines in my how do I say it? In the paper,
Yeah,
as to get too distracted. Like I still get somewhat distracted, but not interfering with my attention.
okay, good. And what about you, Paloma?
Mm, many things.
Hmm?
Many things. Studying, like take the time to study is in the first years, it was very difficult to me
Why?
because I didn't have the like the in school either. I didn't have like
The discipline?
yes, the discipline to study.
But were you a good student at school?
Yes, I was a very good student, but most of the time I studied the last like the last
Minute.
yes, and in university that it's no that couldn't be because it
Doesn't
was
work.
too much.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work because it was too much, and that that gave me that was difficult.
Okay. So discipline was, okay. Now you said that there was a fourth question that you were, I mean, you were in the middle when I closed the room, you were discussing it, but not completely. What was that?
It was that question.
Yeah, it
I-
was that one.
I
I got it.
Yeah.
Will
Got them out of order.
Okay.
We also,
Sorry.
that I got them out of order. That was the last one, and the third one was the 10th one.
Yeah.
yes.
Do you think being a student is the best time of your life? Why not? Do you think it is the best time of your life?
No, not at
No?
all.
No. Why?
I think a lot of people, I think that because it's a common idea. I think it's gets spread around. It's spread around because a lot of people look back on their younger years, and because everything was easier when they were younger, they assume it was because they were younger and studying. So they say, "Oh, when you're studying, it's the best time of your life." But if it's because you're young, it's because you're reminiscing on your younger years. And it's usually the most fun part of someone's life. Not always, not always.
Yeah, but you're supposed to have less responsibilities than when you are older. You're supposed to. I mean, it's not the case
Yes,
for everyone.
no. I mean, it's kind of the time when you're like um, cementing yourself
Yeah.
in like as an adult.
Mhm.
So you're still like you don't have anything to your name usually. Um, you haven't got you haven't even worked for your name. Like a lot of people don't know you because you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And also yeah, it's usually more carefree, but also a lot of people expect you to work harder for everything. Like because you can just sometimes you can skip nights of sleep.
Mhm.
So a lot of people just expect you to work work yourself to an early grave while you're young, like they they understand like more they understand more the need for rest as people get older.
Okay. Yeah. How old are you, Vicente, again?
24. 25.
25. Yeah. And what do you think about that, Paloma? Do you think a student's life is is the best time for a person?
I think I'm in the time that I want to, like, I don't want to study anymore because
No?
it has been too long. I want to be independent. I want to work, and I want to not depend for not depend on anybody.
You don't want to depend on anybody. You want to be independent.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have been studying for 6 or 7 years.
I finished school in 2013. So I
9
start,
years.
yes, it's too long.
That's a long time. And how
So,
much, when are you supposed to finish the master's? This year?
No. And like in the next semester,
Okay.
finish of the next semester, maybe.
Okay. So it will be 10 years in the end, more or less. Yeah. Well, it's a long time anyway. Yeah, but it's impossible. I think no, impossible, but it's difficult for you to see to think about that because you are very young and you're still student. So you don't have the perspective to look backwards. When you're older and you look back,
Yes.
you forget. I mean, not forget, but you tend to think, oh, okay, when I was younger, I mean, I was student, I was young, I don't know, I had no obligations.
Yes, but I think that the people remember the best part,
Exactly.
not the bad.
Yeah, I
And
think so. Yeah, all times were the best ones. I mean, it's a memory resource to survive. I think to remember just the good things about the past.
I think I want to be able to, don't know, work and then travel or do what I like or live where I like, with I like.
Yeah.
Have my space.
Yeah. You want to do what you want.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you are about to have it. I mean, you are close to that. Okay, guys. Well, there were more questions that I wanted to discuss out of here. And let's see, well, considering that there are some questions that were not included and that I think that I would like to discuss some of these questions, not all, of course, not some of them, 1 or 2 more, especially when the other students return to classes. I mean, and because I would like to go on with education, but with different aspects. There is another unit that I have prepared for today, but that is talking about women's education in the world, female education. So I think that we can continue then with that after taking some questions out of this list. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So next week we are on holidays. Yes?
Yes.
So I hope you can enjoy it, rest, and don't drink too much. Okay. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
You too.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Have a nice week.